Ever since I got my hands on the Pixel 8 Pro, my biggest question has been how good the cameras are and what they're capable of. We know Google upgraded every single sensor and added some new software tricks to the 8 Pro, so to celebrate, I thought it'd be the perfect time to go over the best camera features that all Pixel owners should know about at the bare minimum. Because there's a lot to cover, we're gonna put these features into categories. So first, we'll talk about the biggest AI features, then we'll get into some camera modes, and we'll end this video going over some general tips and tricks that most people might not even know about. And to start this video, we're going to focus on Google's new AI features as they've been causing a huge stir in the smartphone market as of late. The most popular addition this year is Magic Editor. For those unaware, Magic Editor is effectively Photoshop that's built right into Google Photos. Any picture you upload to the platform will be able to take advantage of this, and you have a lot of choice in how you want to edit that video. You can use Photo Unblur, Magic Eraser, use a ton of filters and markup options. There's sliders for adjusting skin tone, HDR effects, you can change highlights, shadows, and what really makes this useful is the AI suggestion feature that will analyze the photo and immediately give you the best options. So if you still don't have a ton of time but still want a decent edit, the AI suggestion feature is solid for some low-level basic improvements. Really though, the big headline feature with Magic Editor is the ability to drag and drop objects throughout a scene. This portion of the editor you can access by hitting the rainbow-hued gallery icon, pressing and holding on an object, and then from there you can move it around or scale the item as you see fit. To save changes, let go of the subject and hit the next arrow. AI will then generate some images that'll try and fix shadows and fill in the background, with the end result being 4 different iterations of the photo that you just edited with varying degrees of success. Obviously, this isn't always perfect. Sometimes the AI has a hard time grabbing objects, making clean edges, and creating believable results. On the other hand, if you know ahead of time you plan to use Magic Editor for a shoot, you can kind of frame shots in a simple way that's easier for the editor to work with. One last AI-focused feature I want to talk about is in regards to Audio Magic Eraser. Last week I demoed the feature where Google's AI identifies sounds in a video and then tries to dampen, reduce, or straight up eliminate the sound. From what I've seen so far, Audio Editor can pick up speech, nature sounds like birds or bugs, wind noise, and just general noise pollution that can be found inside a video. To show you how well it works, I'll play a sample real quick of a video I took on vacation a few years back. It wasn't perfect, and the more you use Audio Magic Eraser, the more you'll realize it has a long way to go. I find if the noise you're trying to remove is outside the maximum capability of the hardware, you will get some distortion when trying to remove that audio, but for now, it's a solid start. Now that we got AI features out of the way, I really want to talk about the great camera modes that Google's been improving on over the years. Right now, we have a solid feature set that still surprises me to this day as an Android enthusiast, and the biggest one that I love is astrophotography. Technically, it's been around since the Pixel 3, but with the upgraded sensors and the 50 megapixel RAW format, you can get high resolution, professional quality images. To access, you just need to put your camera in night sight mode, point the camera at the sky using a tripod or an object of some kind, and then when the prompt appears, hit it and let the phone do its thing. Normally it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for the process to play out, with the end result being these gorgeous art pieces, if you will, that will leave most people wondering how a phone took this photo. Very underrated if you ask me. Moving on, another underrated camera feature is macro photography mode. Typically I don't shoot macro shots, but when testing for this video, I did play around with it quite a bit. To my surprise, you can get super close to objects using macro mode. I'm talking less than 3 inches away, with the end result again being these artistic, insanely detailed close-up shots. Combined with the 48 megapixel mode and Magic Editor, you can get some really stunning images for personal or professional use. Speaking of professional photos, next up is the 50 megapixel setting in RAW format. By default, out of the box, the 8 Pro shoots 12 megapixel JPEG images, which look fine of course, but if you're a professional or the kind of photographer that really wants to maximize photo quality, changing the resolution and format in the settings should help out quite a bit. On a surface level, photos from the two formats look largely the same, which I guess is a good thing. However, if you zoom in, that's where you can really notice the difference. As you can see, looking at certain areas of the photos side by side, the level of detail is night and day. Obviously, not everyone is going to need this level of sharpness in every photo, and keep in mind, the file size almost triples if you do use the 50 megapixel RAW format. Like I said, this mode is really for professionals that know what they're looking for, although I highly recommend everyone plays around with it for a little bit. In the modern smartphone landscape, everyone has crazy digital zoom capabilities. However, 30x zoom on the 8 Pro is really good. With hardware alone, the telephoto lens can get up to 5x zoom, which already looks great, but with Google's software magic, you can get pretty usable 30x photos. Compared to the Fold 5, I would say results are similar, although software processing seems to be much better on the Pixel in my opinion. And in some samples I took throughout the week, you can really see how detailed shots from the 8 Pro can get. Personally, I don't ever see a reason why someone would need a 30x zoom, but that's none of my business. If you need it, the Pixel 8 Pro's got it with solid results in my opinion. And finally, this last feature is an 8 Pro exclusive for now with the addition of Pro Controls. Not sure why this isn't available on the normal 8 or 7 series, but hopefully it should get there eventually. Simply put, Pro Controls allow you to manually adjust white balance, brightness, and shadow settings, which technically the normal 8 can do as well. The difference is 8 Pro users can change focus, shutter speed, and ISO all manually. As a side note, Pro Controls also work in the ultra-wide and telephoto lens as well, not just the main sensor. Not to mention this also works with the 50 megapixel RAW mode, so I mean if you really want to use your smartphone camera for photography, we have a lot of flexibility here, which is awesome to see. And before we get out of here, let's round this video out with some powerful camera tricks that don't really have anything to do with photography, but should still be insanely useful for Pixel users to know about. We can start with Google Lens. For those unfamiliar, it's basically a Google-made platform for identifying text, objects, and items, kind of like a reverse Google search. You can access it via the camera icon in your Google search bar on your home screen. From there, you can just scan items and Google Lens will do its best to try and identify said item. This works with plants, birds, tech products, food, basically anything relatively recognizable. The most important feature you should be using in Google Lens is the live translation feature, where pointing the camera at text will automatically detect the language and translate it for you in real time. In general, I find it perfect for travelers or generally adventurous people that need access to this kind of info at any given moment. At the end of the day, it's easy to see why the 8 Pro is a very capable camera, and because of that, I can see a lot of photographers or just casual users getting a lot of use out of this. Google's camera UI is clean, you can get a wide variety of different looking photos, and while the AI arguably needs more work, the functions it can carry out today are not bad for a somewhat newer piece of technology. If you made it to the end, let me know what you think about the Pixel 8 Pro and just the Pixel camera capabilities in general. Is there something missing that Google should be adding? Have you found any features that I didn't mention in this video? Leave a comment and let me know, but either way guys, I'm getting out of here. This has been Jordan Floyd with 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.